causing all kinds of problems all over the road. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Stiffler Manufacturing out of Arizona. Doing another drive live. And we have just finished our, well, I guess not just finished. A few days ago, we just finished our, what the heck are you doing? Our Cyber Week sale. And went all right. Some of you got some good deals on some good slides, stripped and complete. We have confirmed our next sale will be New Year's. And we'll be doing that around December 28th, December 29th, somewhere thereabouts. Hey, Omar, how's it going, brother? And so, yeah, we'll be doing that next sale. Not as good as the Cyber Week sale, but still pretty good. I think the Glocktober sale was probably our best, but we will be doing another sale right around New Year's. It'll be several days, maybe a week long. So for those of you who just weren't able to get something for Christmas, you know, maybe you can get something for the New Year's instead. Work is still ongoing with the 26 and the 27, or sorry, 26 and 43. Had 27 on the brain earlier. And we are in a tool shortage at the moment. We're waiting on some shipments. We are in a steel shortage at the moment, waiting on some steel to come in. And honestly, just with the holiday season, not to be unexpected. It happens about every year. You go to start ordering stuff near the end of the year, and there's just shipping delays. It happens. So we're waiting on tools, we're waiting on steel, and once that comes in, we are going to be resuming working on the 26 and the 43. Getting orders out. We've got some people trying to do collaborations with us. Hey, Bill Poole, what are you doing, man? How's it going? Collaborations are closed until 2026. All the steel we have, all the slides we have, they're slated. So they've all got buyers they're going to, distributors they're going to, and so on and so forth. Bill, no, the Viper giveaway is still going to happen. But what we're probably going to do is we'll announce it here on YouTube, and then we'll probably actually do the giveaway over on Grumble, because YouTube has been frustrating to deal with, quite frankly. Just absolutely frustrating to deal with. Well, let's switch this. We're not going to take that route. If I'm traveling this far out, I want to go here. There we go. But yeah, we'll still be doing the Viper giveaway. It's probably just not going to happen until after SHOT Show, because everything's going into SHOT Show right now, and it's going to cost us some money. And the downside to SHOT Show is you don't make money. You show up, it's not like you're setting up a stand or a vendor booth or anything like that. Everything you're doing is meeting and greeting with other businesses, meeting and greeting with media, and, you know, some gun tubers and things like that. But you can't sell there. It's not a selling event. It's just meet and greet. So everything is going into SHOT Show, so we'll probably be doing the giveaway after SHOT Show. There, that's where we'll go. There we are. Switch to all messages. YouTube automatically tries to do this top message thing, and I want to see everybody's messages. Facebook does that too. They're like the most relevant message. No, I want to see all the messages, not just what Facebook perceives as the most relevant. Which in our line of work is usually nothing, so sometimes you don't get to see the comments at all. Okay. But yep, Cyber Week ended. Some people got some good slides, some good completes. But we are going to do a New Year's sale. I don't know if we'll do a sale for SHOT Show. Maybe we will, you know, who knows. Then, of course, after that, we got like Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's coming up, so maybe we'll do something for that too. Not quite sure what, if anything. The holiday seasonal type sales, they don't always do too well. Especially if they're themed. Like, we do a 4th of July style slide, you know, red, white, and blue. And, you know, most people, the most popular color that we do, so graphite black, but we're doing carbon black for a little bit. And of course, you got the other darker tactical colors: tungsten, sniper gray, burnt bronze, desert sand, flat dark earth. Jesse James green kind of has that forest green appearance. You know, so any of those. Shimmer aluminum gives it a quasi stainless appearance with a little bit of metallic flake to it. So that's popular. So those, you know, those tend to sell the most. The more colorful, personalized slides, you know, like Green Mamba, the Zombie, even, well, we're switching from Arctic White back to Stormtrooper White, but, you know, Stormtrooper White, Gold, those are popular. People like to get them, you know, showpiece guns that they're building. But when it comes to just your build that runs and functions, it's the tactical colors. Oh yeah, Gen 6. Yeah, that was announced. Man, I'm disappointed again. I find myself disappointed. So the V series, you know, I understand why they did it. It makes sense, you know, from a business standpoint. But then they announced the Gen 6. And the Gen 6 has, you know, the same thing Glock always does, is improve the frame. And it's a cool looking frame. I like it. You know, and the stippling that's on it, it looks like it would be good grip. I'd have to feel it to be sure, but it looks good. So you know they have taken the changes from the V series and put that into the Gen 6. And along with discontinuing everything else previously that they were doing. So Glock is trying to push their contracts, and this is what I see. I can't confirm, but this is just what I see, is that Glock is going to push their government contracts, you know, law enforcement agencies, military, any other government agencies that have, you know, armed agents, whatever. They're going to try and push the Gen 6 on them and the V series on them, especially with this new optic cut that they're talking about. And they'll be like, hey, look, it's not switchable. It was designed to not be switchable. All right, let's try and get over it. It's Christmas time. Got a fleet of semis during the day. Now, technically, this gentleman on the left side of me should be on the right side of me. Semis are not supposed to travel in the left lane. But whatever. Travel up a little north, go through Pinell, yeah, you'll get pulled over for that. Here, not so much. Okay. But yeah, Gen 6. And they didn't change too much about the slide. Yeah, okay, they got a new optic cut. Okay, it's got the V series internals. Okay. And then they changed the frame again. And I was expecting, you know, Gen 6 to be just this new thing. And it's not. And what this means for us is that because there's been no significant change, as long as we can confirm that the V series change has not been copyrighted, your aftermarket slide manufacturing companies like us, like Zev, Zafiri, Grey Ghost, we can all go out and make slides based off the V series and the Gen 6. Will we? I don't know. I mean, we've been lagging behind on getting the Gen 5. But, you know, someday, sure, yeah. I mean, trying to really push the 26, which base model Gen 3, Gen 4. And then the 43, which is its own thing. Hey, Fluffy, what's going on, man? Talking about the Gen 6, the V Series, Cyber Week sale ended, New Year's sale coming up, SHOT Show. But yeah, you know, this Gen 6, just disappointed, you know. It's not a significant change. I like the frame. The frame looks cool. I think the frame might fit well. I don't know, the stippling looks good, like it'll feel good in the hand, but you don't know until you actually hold it, right? So, hey, work in progress. What's going on, man? So, and I wonder how well the Gen 6 is going to do outside of government contracts, because from those of us that remember SIG with the ICE memo, going forward, a lot of agencies and a lot of police departments, a lot of government agencies, Border Patrol, FBI, talking about switching over just to Glock Gen 5 MOS. That's what they wanted. And, will they then push the Gen 6 on government agencies? Absolutely, probably. And, it's no different than, like, it's different in scale, but it's no different in concept. Like, our largest purchasers of slides are distributors, where they buy several hundred to 1,000 slides, And then there's, the average buyer, you and me, who go out to buy a single, Glock 19 Gen 6. Yes, they want to push those because every sale's a sale, keeps the business moving. But they're going to have a primary focus on government contracts, getting law enforcement agencies to go to the Gen 6, getting the military to go to the Gen 6. For the price, they should have done a bit more. Yes, absolutely. I think they should have done a bit more. Because really all it is, and it's the same thing Glock has done, from Gen 3 to 4 to 5 to X, and now to 6. The only thing that's really changed is the frame. I mean, yeah, sure, they made the Gen 5 ambidextrous, and yeah, sure, the Gen 4 had a different recoil spring assembly. That dual recoil spring. They had that going on for them. And undercover cop. And, okay, yeah, you changed a couple things, and then eventually they added the MOS cut, for an optic, instead of going with RMR or something like that. But, and then, of course, they added front grip serrations, which was the same exact measurement, if I remember right, from the rear grip serrations. They just doubled it. They didn't cant it, they didn't make a change to it, it's just they doubled it. And I don't blame them for it, because if it's not broke, why are you going to try and fix it? Glock made a product that works, that people like, and the only thing they've done is to improve hand feel, how it feels in your hand, lefties and righties, and then, good grip. That's all they've ever worked on. They never really worked on changing the slide. Supposedly, they worked on changing the barrel and parts kit, for Gen 5, but it really isn't a huge change. Same thing with changing the recoil spring assembly for the Gen 4. And then you look at the Gen 6, and it looks like they have gone back to the Gen 3 style recoil spring, at least from the photos I saw. So they're going back to the Gen 3 on the recoil spring. They're keeping an optic cut. They're keeping the design look of the Gen 5, and they're adding in the V-Series with that they were supposedly forced to do because, they're getting sued by like 11 different places across the country right now. And it's like, okay, I get it, don't fix what's not broken, but Gen 6, I was expecting a lot more. And I'm sure it'll run great, and maybe they've improved the trigger too, who knows. Yeah, hurry up, drop the V, and then immediately after, the V switch comes out, drop the 6. Which means people are going to ignore the V, except for everyone who's already, tried to pick one up. It's like, why would you get the V if the Gen 6 came right out? Because the Gen 6 has the V stuff in it. Like, who cares? So at this point, the V is just the Gen 5 with the change in the slide to prevent a switch that, is no longer preventable. And then the Gen 6 is the V-Series slide on a new frame. They're, not changing a whole lot. Which again, to a point, I understand, don't fix what's not broken. But at the same time, I was just expecting, I had a lot of expectations for what the 6 was going to be, And it just, you know, like internal head cannon, like what is Glock gonna do? And it is overwhelming, but I don't fault them for the business model. It's gonna sell. They absolutely know it's gonna sell, and I think it'll sell. I think people are gonna buy it. Do I think people are pissed about the V series? Yes. Do I think they're pissed about a lot of the discontinuation of previous? Yes. About the perception that they're not fighting harder for the 2A. Yes. But people go to Glock because it's tried and true, and it's been standard since the 80s. Like, you know, Gen 1 going up. Like, people are going to stick with it. Same thing with fanboys of any other, any other style of gun. There's people out there that still proclaim, hey, SIG P320, I'm going to stick with it. Hey, man, good for you. You like what you like, and that's the cool thing about why there's so many manufacturers and firearms out there, is you like what you like, what fits your hand, and you run with it. You can always train beyond that, but, I mean, when it first came to Glock, I didn't really like the feel of it. It felt like I did like Ruger. And then, funny enough, now I'm involved in a business that is making aftermarket style slides that fit Glock. So, you know, it is what it is. I've gotten better at it. It's definitely not awkward feeling anymore. It used to feel awkward holding a Glock. It's just something you train into. Okay, let's move over a bit. There we go. How much of the new discontinued models out there going for now? I haven't seen a huge price increase. I'm sure there's scalpers in every market. I mean, damn, there's scalpers in like Pokemon trading cards. So there's going to be scalpers, you know, trying to say, hey, Glock has discontinued this. This now, you know, used Glock 19 Gen 4 is $1,000. Yeah, come buy this now. You know, there's always going to be somebody doing something like that bullshit. And if you don't feed into it, that's the thing. You don't need to pay $1,000 for an old Glock when you can go and build a clone that'll run just as good as long as you know what you're doing and you get quality parts. Oof, man, somebody hit that freaking retaining wall there. Nice. Yeah, goddamn. And, you know, those little, I guess I call them like little mini T-walls. Little barriers that they put up that holds, holds back some landscaping, like a hill or something, so that it doesn't just spill out onto the road. Yeah, somebody hit the hell out of it with a big vehicle, and they cracked it all up, and it's, yeah. Hey, Damian Christian, what's going on, brother? Let's see, I know I missed a few things here. Everyone's scrambling to buy 4 and 5 because scary V. Then, oh my God, look how great the 6 is. Yeah. You know, I think this is an avenue, and I know I have a vested interest in it. So take what I say with a grain of salt. But I think this is the time for people who have discounted the clone market, or who just haven't really, you know, gotten it yet, might want to consider it because of the pricing and the changes. Now, whether or not you go with Stiffler Manufacturing or you go with somebody else, you know, that's your decision to make. But it might be time to explore you being able to build your own model out of whatever parts you so choose, running it the way you want it, getting proficient with it, and improving it as you see fit. And realizing that that is going to run cheaper than the V series and the Gen 6 and the market on the Gen 4s and 5s. Speaking of Gen 4, at this time, we do not have any plans to make a Gen 4 specific slide. Does that mean you can fit Gen 3s on Gen 4s and Gen 5s on Gen 4s? Absolutely. You know, you just got to know what you're doing, swap out that back plate, change what you need to change, and boom, done. But we don't have any designs currently to make a Gen 4 style slide. We're going to go from Gen 3 to Gen 5. And we will probably skip the V series just because Gen 6. Like, why would we bother with the V series since the Gen 6 came out like that? Glock didn't even give it like a year. They just, hell, they didn't even give it 6 months. Just boom, Gen 6. Which my understanding is this is a leak. They probably were going to announce it at SHOT Show or something like that. But who knows? Let's see. Absolutely. Glad to hear it's running great too. I know I've had a few people have had a couple problems, and we were able to solve those problems for some of them. My favorite though was one guy was just using bad ammo, and we figured that out together. So we're sitting here like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you having so many cycling issues? And then he's like, you know what? Maybe it's the ammo. And we're like, well, what ammo are you using? Like, you know, what brand? And he's like, you know, I got this ammo from some guy at the range, like reloads. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Do you have any regular ammo to give it a try? Sure enough, he does, and starts running it. And we both had a good laugh about it. It was just like, okay, because we were racking our brains, like, what's wrong? Like, why is this happening? This makes no sense. And just bad reloads. That'll happen. Don't always trust those range reloads, people, unless you made them yourself, or unless it's a guy you freaking know. You know, don't always trust those range reloads. And you got to do a chunk port 19. Do a chunk port 19 slide barrel combo. Chunk. I'm having a brain fart, man. Dial that in for me. What's that? Grabbed a ported V8 barrel. Run 147s. Nice. Old 147 grain. Oh, this is fun. I actually got pulled over for this once, so I'm drinking some liquid death. Get some carbonated water, you know? Less soda in my life. Less sugar. Someone's trying to call me. I don't know who they are. I'm gonna ignore that. But yeah, I got pulled over for drinking one of these once. And the cop was like, damn it. He's like, I thought you were drinking like a tall boy or something. Like, no, man, it's just carbonated water. And he's like, all right, free to go. Sorry for the inconvenience. It's like, yeah, okay. Which, I mean, you know, I guess I could get it. Like, you know, driving down the road, and you see that, I guess, out of the corner. There we are. Ooh, I need to get that fixed at some point. Okay, let's go pull in here. I'm waiting to meet somebody, and I'll keep the live going until they show up. Let's go find a nice shady spot. And let's go turn on the green screen. Why not? There we are. At least we're out of the sun. Okay, green screen. Let's see. What do we have here? What's good? What's good? Heck, why not the Gen 6? Let's throw that in the background. Because we were looking at that, we were looking at that the other day. I mean, I like the frame. I absolutely like the frame. It looks cool. But the slide's the same. Except we know it has, well, yeah, it does have V-Series internals. So it's like, okay, what was the point of the V-Series? Should have just announced the Gen 6. Heavier grain for the port seems to be the way to go. Right on. Chunk port is like a compensator before the front sight. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Surely had the blues when it turned out to be water. Yeah. There's like 4 grams of sugar in it compared to a soda. My God. And that's because just as the flavored one. You can get the non-flavored ones, you know. But yeah, that's what's going on for anybody who just joined us a bit ago. And thank you guys for the likes. It's greatly appreciated. We finished our Cyber Week sale. Next big sale is probably around New Year's. We are going to SHOT Show next month. We should be there alongside MMC Armory. And what else is going on? Still working on the 4326 because it's the end of the year. Tool shipments and steel shipments are running late. Every machine shop is buying steel. Every machine shop is buying end mills, trying to get set up for next year, finish end of the year projects, and there's like a backlog. So we're waiting for steel to show up. We're waiting for tools to show up. End of the year. And it's not just, you know, this. It's every industry. Everybody, Christmas, all the shipping going on. Everything's delayed. So, yeah, we're not the only machine shop dealing with that, unfortunately. There's one next door to us. They do some other stuff with aluminum, and they're waiting on stuff. They're waiting on aluminum. They're waiting on parts. And we're just like, yep, end of the year. It happens. Should have went aluminum frame. You know, that's an idea. Especially when you take the RXM with the fire control unit. You could make an aluminum frame and just, you know, not have the control unit in it. Good to go. Gen 6 frame should have been made a decade ago by Glock. Yeah, probably. I was just expecting so much more with the Gen 6. Something new with the slide, you know? Oh, that's something too. We've begun to experiment with putting our logo and the models of the slide on the slide. So we're starting to experiment with that, see what looks best, see what fits best, what's the easiest way to do it, you know. So we're experimenting with putting our Dragon logo and, you know, this logo as well as the model. So like, for example, it'll say, you know, or it'll say like the Stiffler Dragon and then SM43, SM19, SM17. So yeah, we're debating how we want it to look, where it's going to be, because each slide's a little different, because it can't be in the same spot on each slide. Like the Viper, really hard to engrave something where there's a ported window on the side, right? So yeah, we're just figuring that out for each model and how we want to do that. But we are going to be adding our logo and the model numbers sometime in 2026. The Icarus for the RXM. Glock is like Nintendo, give you a little upgrade when everyone else is going big. Yes. I mean, even Smith & Wesson was doing ports and optics before Glock was. They're not catching. I mean, I get it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I really do get it. But it's like, maybe experiment a little bit. And there's all these aftermarket items that Glock could probably try to capitalize on. Like Nintendo, right? They have all their accessories. Glock could capitalize on a lot of those accessories. Make their own. Make sure it functions perfectly with their product. And they don't. They leave the aftermarket to it, and maybe they don't want to. Maybe they just know, hey, look, we've made a perfect thing that works for us, that people love. Let's try not to screw with it too hard. And that could be it right there. They could just be like, you know what, we made this thing. It's working for us. Don't make too many changes to it. And that could be it. That could be what they're looking for. Wrong jacket. There you are. Gotta write something down real quick. Okay. Okay, we got that. Excellent. Done and done. Glock needs to listen and pay attention to where everyone is going aftermarket, then make a new gun. Yeah, possibly. Guns and horse ski. Yep. Yep. Glock is into shooting two kinds of things. They like people, or no, sorry. Fuck that one all up. They like horses and they don't like people. I forget the name of the channel. The guy did a great joke about that. They're like, we like horses and we don't like people. So if you like to hang out with horses and you want to put holes in people, check us out. Oh, and now the weight. So what's everyone else building lately? I'm playing around with the RXM a little bit, trying to wrap my brain around the fire control unit and possible future stuff. Of course, SHOT Show is always on the brain. Trying to get everything ready for SHOT Show too. That's going to be a long trip. We got to take a bunch of slides with us to show that stuff off, get our tables set up, meet up with MMC Armory. They're one of our distributors. They buy slides from us, so we're going to meet up with them. And should be a fun event. It was crazy last year. I don't know if I'm going. We're still working that out because we still got to run the shop while people are going. So Brian and Justine might go, and I'll probably just stay back. But we need to figure that out soon because I got to take vacation time off to go if I'm going. So we got to work on that. They're a handful. Nope, not his truck. Still haven't been to the range in a while since I polished up the rails. Oh yeah, it's been so difficult to get to the range lately. Well, no, there's an indoor range I can go to pretty much anytime I want to, but they're restricted on what I can record and what I can do. So I prefer the outdoor ranges, but if you don't leave early enough, they get flooded with people, and then also you're out in the middle of the desert, so you got to plan for that. And it's a heck of a drive. So it's gonna instead of being like an hour or two, it becomes like a whole day thing. Or at the very least, the whole morning. And it's just hard to put time together for that. You got family, you got stuff to take care of. So you go use the indoor range, but then there's the cost to the indoor range. It's not cheap. So you're already buying the ammo, you're already using your time, and then you got to go drop 20, 30 bucks on range fees and stuff. And you can't do that every damn day. Just adds up. Finished the Viper, getting ready for classes. Right on. Need to build something, I don't know. Maybe I need to get myself an old Leonidas. Do something with one of those. Oh, right on. I don't know, once the kids are a little older, maybe we will. Some people ask, like, if there's an age, if there's a right age for it. No, there's not. It's a maturity thing. Every kid's different. So, you know, if they're ready when they're ready. And you just got to feel that out. You can say, oh, I'm going to take my kid out at 5. Your kid might not be ready at 5. Maybe your kid will be ready at 9. You never know. Emotional maturity, how to take things seriously, not treat it like a game. You can instill those beliefs as best you can, but it still requires the kid to, in the moment, you know, click with it. And that's different for each kid. Some kids are very mature for their age. Some kids don't mature almost ever. Standard is 12? Yeah. I see a lot. Yeah, I see a lot of them out there. We took, last time we went to one of the big outdoor public ranges, Yeah, we had some kids there with us. We brought all kinds of stuff along. Old World War I, World War II stuff, more modern stuff. And kid was fascinated, and you could tell like the parent just didn't want to like let their kid like run over there and look at everything without talking to everybody first. And yeah, and so we just kind of introduced ourselves like, hey, do you guys want to check some of these out? Happy to. You know, we've got plenty of ammo. We're just out here just shooting, having fun. And they're like, seriously? Like, yeah, I mean, have you ever held, you know, a Lee Enfield from World War I? Would you like to? Sure, here you go. And then you go and tell the kid it's a rifle that's over 100 years old, and he's like, and it still shoots, whoa. You know, kid's all excited. So that's always fun. Plus then you get to go out and meet and greet and talk to people. And, you know, the times we were doing it then, we weren't running it for, you know, Stiffler. But now we'll show up, you know, full gear, t-shirts, you know, got the Dragon logo and everything. We'll show up and with our stuff and with our slides, and you know, now it becomes a whole conversation, and you're marketing every day. Let's put it that way. When you have a small business, you're marketing every day. Even just going out and meeting with people, you gotta talk to people every day. Go out and do public stuff. Go to the local range. It becomes business every day. I mean, and that's another one too. And I know some people have conflicting issues on this one, but open carrying, concealed carrying. When I'm out and about and doing stuff, planned events, you know, I do open carry, and it starts so many conversations. But if it's an area I'm unfamiliar with, people I'm unfamiliar with, then no, I don't. I conceal carry. And open carrying, people go, hey, what the heck is that? You know, I've never seen, you know, a red slide, or I've never seen, you know, this camo. So like, where did you get that? And where did you get, like, hey, I don't recognize that frame. It's an aftermarket SCT frame, or, you know, it's a PSA or something. They're looking at this like, who makes this? It's like, it's a build. We make the slide, parts come from this company, frame comes from this company, and it starts a whole conversation. And they're like, I never thought about doing that, you know? So you're always doing business every day, even just going out to certain places. Absolutely should be taught in school. Yes, there should be a weapons safety class in school. I think it should be part of middle school and high school as a requirement to pass. And they used to do it. I don't think it wasn't mandatory, but a police officer would show up to school, you know, back in, you know, 60s, 50s, 40s, and they would say, you know, this is a pistol, this is a rifle, this is a shotgun. This is how to be safe with those things. And I think they need to bring that back, because too many people have been corrupted by Hollywood idiocy on what guns do, what they're capable of. Too many people have been corrupted by, like, certain representative out of Texas who, you know, is ignorant as fuck and just talks a lot of shit. You know who she is. And they've been force-fed this kind of concept that guns do these crazy things and make these weird noises and do all this stuff that they don't do. That, you know, if you shoot somebody with a 5.56, it's going to put the size of a bowling ball out their back. The weird, crazy shit I've heard them talk about makes no sense. Incendiary rounds are heat-seeking devices. The stuff that you will hear politicians and media pundits and stuff say about guns is absolutely hilarious. But because there's no public requirement to learn gun safety, and you have to rely on your parents or family friends or your own edification, your own choice to become educated on the issue, to learn about firearm safety and firearms, the people who are not part of those circles just trust whatever Hollywood and the media and politicians say about guns, which is categorically false every damn time. Bill. Back when I was doing 2A advocacy, I used to send her postcards. And the whole reason I would send postcards was that every person along the way got to read what it said. From the postal carrier to her and everybody in between. I was not kind. I was not kind at all in those postcards. What happened to Eddie Eagle? A lot of people didn't like, yeah, it was NRA, right? A lot of people didn't like the NRA for, a lot of people still don't. People have been switching over to, Gun Owners of America, FPC, local organizations like Citizen Defense Leagues and stuff. So maybe Eddie Eagle's still around, but I think a lot of people kind of moved away from the NRA. Yeah, postcards. Yeah, you want to send messages to politicians, I recommend postcards so everybody can read it. Yeah, postcards are great. Plus you can send them for like, I don't know what postcard stamps are anymore. I think they're like 4 cents. Maybe they've gone up. Because you're not sending a regular letter, so it's so much cheaper. The hell is this dude? I need to stop being so early. I don't know. Yeah, just gotta meet somebody. I like to show up 15 minutes early. Yeah, gotta help out with the education of younger generations. And that's something that's wrong with our own groups. Is you look on Reddit, you look on Facebook, all these different groups, and it's just full of some FUD-ass motherfuckers that, like to talk about how cool they are and how hot shit they are. And if anyone new comes in trying to learn something, they're like, oh, look how stupid you are. Why would you even ask that question? Like, what, you just don't know anything? And it's like, no, of course they didn't. That's why they asked the question. We have a custodianship to the Second Amendment that I think a lot of people fail to realize, is that there are so many people, and I just use COVID as a starting point, 2020 forward. There's so many people that saw what society was doing in a panic and said, you know what, maybe I need a gun. My parents weren't into guns. My grandparents weren't into guns. I'm in a state that's not very gun friendly. But watching how people panicked and freaked out during COVID and what their behavior was like made people go, you know what? Maybe I need a gun to protect my family. Like, yeah, okay, my parents didn't do it. They didn't teach me anything. So now I got to learn by myself. And these are people who, they didn't join the military. They weren't part of a gun club. They didn't have family members that taught them anything. So in this modern era, what did they turn to? The internet. And they found gun groups that just treated them like shit. And so now all they know is what bad advice they were given or no advice whatsoever. Because they said, well, hey, I didn't come here to be insulted. I just came here to try to learn something. I guess I can't learn it from you guys. And they bounce. So, yeah, there's always going to be new gun owners out there that are not part of your circle that want to learn because they didn't have people in their life to teach them. And so I think we all have a bit. Do I know everything about guns? No, but I can teach basic marksmanship. I can teach basic safety. Does everybody in this chat know everything about guns? No, there's always something to learn. There's always more to improve on. But we can teach the basics. We can push people in the right direction. We can teach safety. Everybody can do that. A lot of gun tubers like that as well. Instead of helping 2A, they talk. Yes, absolutely. And there's some gun tubers we don't talk to anymore. And I don't like some of the content that they do. Some of it's just an act and a show, and totally get that. But some of them, it's not an act. It's not a show. They behave like they behave for entertainment in real life. And it's just like, oh my God, how unsafe. Like, I can get, if you're just doing a show for content, that's one thing. To then emulate your own content in real life is completely another. And some of that is just god-awful. I've also left some groups. I'm not going to talk about which groups they are because I don't think they deserve the attention. But went into some gun groups to talk about things like gun safety and promoting education. And it was an insane amount of actual racism. Not like joking around racism, like something you and your buddies are out camping in the woods and locker room talk and whatever the fuck. I mean, like full on actual racism. And I was like, yeah, we're good. Have a nice day. And a buddy of mine actually apologized to me. He's like, I didn't know that's what the group was about before we went to go check this place out. I'm like, it's cool, man. You know, we came here to talk about guns, and these guys are, well, I can't say good luck to them, but, you know, maybe they'll find a better path. They are some fucked up individuals. So, and it started out finding this group through some YN content and a few other things, and it's just like, dude, I thought that was just your content. I didn't think like, no, you're actually like full on garbage as a person. It's like, wow, okay, well, we're out of here. Yeah, it does push people away. If you do it for entertainment, it probably reflects who you realize. Possibly, because you can separate the entertainment that you create from what you actually do as a person, because you know some things are entertaining and pull people in. And I've seen some people who've done that and then utilize the entertainment value to then teach safety and promote education. So each person does it differently. Some people, it's just their entertainment and their persona are the same damn thing. Like who they are as a person and their entertainment, same person. And sometimes that reflects in business dealings too. You go to talk to people about a collaboration, and they're just as unprofessional in their entertainment as they are in person. And you get a real feel for that. And we've had that a few times where people have come to us about collaborations, and we've gotten burned a few times too. But other ones we've gotten like, okay, yeah, no, we're not good. We're not getting a good vibe from you. Have a nice day. And they're like, but I got, you know, X number of followers and whatever. And it's like, dude, you couldn't even handle basic conversation. Like, you know, good luck to you and your many followers. And, you know, I hope you continue promoting 2A advocacy, but we just didn't get a warm fuzzy. Like, no, we're not interested in this time. I mean, right now, all collabs are paused until 2026 anyway, after SHOT Show. And then after SHOT Show's handled, we'll start evaluating collaborations. People can start reaching out to us again after SHOT Show. You know, sometime February probably. And it's just people like, oh, hey, man, I want to do this content right now. And I appreciate that they're excited and they want to, you know, throw a Stiffler slide on a build and do some collaborations. And I appreciate that. I really do. But we also have a business to take care of first. And collabs, those are free. So somebody gets our slide for free, which means we didn't make any money on it, which means we have to evaluate every slide we send out. We have to go, okay, hey, can we give away a free slide right now? Is everything paid for? Are all the employees taken care of? All the bills taken? Can we give away a free slide so someone can do some advertising? Yes, no. And every business has to run into that, about whether or not they're giving away a product that might cost several hundred to even a few $1,000s. Like, hey, do we give this away? Because a lot of collaborators, that's their payment. They got the slide, they went and did a collaboration with it, or, you know, whatever else. Could be anything. You know, it doesn't have to be a slide. But they did their collab with it, and they get to keep it. Now, some have contracts and stipulations about you have to return the product and you will be paid, you know, in actual cash or whatever for your time and for what you did. But a lot of collabs is the collaborator gets the item for free, and that's their payment for creating videos and doing content with it. So if you start getting a negative reputation for how you do your videos and how you interact with businesses don't want to give you anything anymore. That said, I've also seen people who spaz out on businesses when they declined because they said, hey, look, I'm busy, like we're busy right now, it's the holiday season, we can't do this, but maybe we can do it again sometime in the future. And they freak out, and it's like, yeah, man, we all got issues, like small businesses, you got bills to pay, you got families to take care of. You know, we're not all huge factories like Glock or Smith & Wesson, Ruger, PSA, where you just be like, yeah, take one off the line, we're good. And it's like, no, like sometimes you got to cut it off. We allocate X number of slides per year to give away for collabs and stuff. And, you know, that changes from time to time. You know, it always changes, always variables. But if a business says no, like if you're an up-and-coming YouTuber, gun tuber, whatever it is your content, if you're involved in firearms, keep in mind that a business might want to do something with you, might want to collaborate with you, but they might need to wait until the next fiscal quarter to understand what their budget is before they can just start giving stuff away. Because, I'm sure some of you can imagine, we get hundreds of requests a month saying, hey man, and from people who have like 50 followers to people who have 50,000 followers to 100,000 followers and more, like, hey man, can we do this? And it's like, I would really like to, but we got all of our steel, like end of the year, we've got our steel tied up, all of our slides are tied up, so we can't just start giving stuff away until after SHOT Show, potentially. And I've talked with some other, manufacturers, creators, same thing. They're like, yeah, everything's on a spreadsheet, like on what we can allocate and what we can give away and what we can, what has to be sold. No different for any other business. I had more and kind of felt burned by some people, so I deleted and got, yeah, I feel that. I feel that. And there's some that's just like, okay, we tried reaching out as much as we could, and their communication skills were either poor or they just ghosted us entirely. One dude was a cop. And we were like, oh, cool, yeah, man, you're a cop over in, I'm not going to say where, but, the guy never did anything. Got the slide, never made any content. Hope the guy's okay, considering the line of work, but he reached back out after we were like, hey, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do something with it, and then never did anything with it. And it's like, dude, you're a cop. Like, fuck, man. Other channels, though, creators, whatever, they'll put people on blast for stuff like that, and then it starts a whole little flame war in the comment section from, this Facebook group or this YouTube group and that YouTube group, the fans of this page and the fans of that page, and it just becomes absolute vitriol. And it's like, we're not interested in that. It's like, okay, if you screwed us over, fine, we just don't deal with you anymore. Like, Got Gamage out there, if you guys ever followed his channel, he did a great review of one of our flash slides. And if he were to reach out and say, hey man, I'm thinking about doing another Glock build, would you guys have something in the future? We'd probably say yes. Frickin' Red Dawn's working on one right now. Once he starts getting his content out there, if he were to ask for one in the future, probably, yeah, we'd probably say yes. Flying Rich, yeah, probably say yes. Good guys to work with, good guys to talk with, their communication's good. Frickin' who else have we worked with? Ghost. I Am Ghost. If he were to, yeah, he's already done a lot of vids, kept up good communication with us. If he were to want to do something again, we'd probably do it. So, Jack of all trades, did something with one of our old slides, Flash, a while back, and then did something one of our newer slides, one of the camo zooms, I believe it was, zoom or a turbo. Either way, brings up our product, talks with us. We've met him at SHOT Show. Would we work with him again in the future? Yeah, probably. So you build a good relationship, and we would keep feeding people who build that good relationship. And even we're like, which one was it? One was saying he had a problem with it, and we were able to walk him through it and figure it out. And we're like, oh, cool, man. Yeah, we figured this out. And then he goes and runs it. FV Ordnance, another one. He got one of our 17s. Pretty sure it's a turbo. And he ran it at the IDPA. And he's planning on doing another one in the future. And would we send him another slide in the future? Yeah, probably. As long as we didn't have other obligations, didn't have our steel tied up or tools tied up, slides tied up for agreements, because you can't just keep giving everything away. That's how you sink the business. So you got to make some money first every now and then. They would rather just pay for something and get honest feedback than give honest feedback. Yeah, that's fair. And there's some channels that do that. They're like, hey, we saved up enough money or we got enough donations, went out and bought this. Like Below Average Utah Dad. I think they were saving up for another gun build. Below Average Utah Dad, we would absolutely work with again in the future. I'd like to support his channel. Pop on there, like, comment, talk with people. And he bought one of our slides for his giveaway. Didn't ask us for a free, he just bought it. He's like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I'm like, absolutely would work with the guy again in the future. And that's freaking sweet. Like Kurt 24, those of you that have been on DLD After Dark's channel, You know, Flying Rich, Red Dawn Readiness, Fat Tack Josh, and there's some others. But he went and bought one of our slides, even though there was a discount going on, even though he had a discount through Dark, didn't use it. And I was like, dude, you know you got the discount. And he's like, nah, he's good, man. Good slide. I was like, dude, man, I appreciate that. Thank you. But I'm like, we do have a discount for some people for a reason. I mean, we can afford the discount. And so if people use it, that doesn't bother us. But the fact that he chose not to, that was so cool. So yeah, there's other people out there we work with again, and man, there's so many I'm forgetting right now because there's so many people we've talked to and we've collaborated with, or we've done streams together, we've done lives together. And Poppy the Gun Guy, he's gotten a couple of our slides, great. Magazine Magic, he does some videos. He got one of our slides a while back. Who else, man? Who else? So many. I gotta do another live where I shout out all the people we've collabed with. I haven't done one of those in a while, and I should probably do another QA live at some point too. Try to get some people in. We can have long discussions about it. People can ask whatever the heck they want. I mean, people can always ask whatever they want to ask. If I don't know an answer, I'll, you know, wing it. But yeah, we'll probably do like a QA-oriented one where people can ask stuff about the business and so on and so forth. Haven't done one of those in a while. Oh yeah, definitely. And if you got something negative too, like that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, hey, I experienced issues with the slide because of this. And it's like, cool. Let us know, like, let us try and fix it. And then you run it and let us know. Like, you got to keep reaching back out. It's got to be a back and forth. If you tried something and it didn't work, like, okay, well, hey, did you try this? Did you try that? And then they go through and then they stop talking, and then they come out and they're like, oh, I didn't like it because this. It's like, you didn't really do an honest feedback. You got to have that dialogue. But that's not everybody, and that's the risk you take doing collabs, you know, sending stuff out there. And out of the thousands, the tens of thousands now of slides that we've made, any of the feedback we've had has mostly just been bad put-togethers, people using bad parts kits. And we did find one. There was an issue a while back where we found out what it was because we had them send the slide back to us and we measured everything. And we were able to dial it in based on what batch that slide was made from. And we even found exactly, one of the tools was worn down. And it wore down quicker than it was supposed to. So we replaced that, made a new one, got that sent out to the guy, and fixed the problem just like that. So that's something that can happen too. And that's not just like machine shop, you know, for firearms parts. That's anything. So a part can get worn down and not, you know, create the product correctly. And if it's missed in QC, because people are human, stuff happens, all you do is just reach out to the company and see what they respond with. So for example, we had, damn, he hasn't been here in a minute. I'm forgetting his name right now. But anyway, he had some slides from Leo Precision. And he reached out to them for customer support because he's like, hey, look, I bought these, but they're not run. I think they're out of spec. And he showed the parts to some of us, and we're like, yeah, those are out of spec. Like, those specs don't match. And ended up getting one of our slides from us, and we walked him through like everything on it, and he's just like, I'm gonna buy from you guys from now on. And I'm like, hey man, greatly appreciate it. He's like, nah, you guys actually like answered your emails. Like, we reached out to you on Messenger and you answered us. He's like, the other companies I was talking to, there was that one and a couple others. He's like, they all just ghosted me. He's like, you guys tried to help me out, and it wasn't even your product, and you still tried to help us out. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, you know, you're talking with us. Like, I don't know all the answers, and if I don't physically have something in front of me, it's really hard to troubleshoot sometimes. But you've reached out to us, I'll try to get you an answer. Like, even if it's not my product, like, I can try and help you out a little bit. And if it definitely is my product, then, or our product, you know, yeah, we want to help you out even more because it's something we created. It's something we sold you. We want to help you out. Took me longer than I expected to install the sleeve, but had to find my sleeve tool. Oh yeah, we're probably going to get those on the website at some point. Probably sell them for $1 or $2. I don't know how much they'll be. If you ever need a replacement, I know RB Tactical over on eBay has some for like $1. Leo Precision is trash. I don't like to talk shit about a lot of other companies, but there's some that have earned it. And sometimes people reach out to us and tell us stuff, and they're like, have you ever dealt with them? I'm like, no, I've heard about them. I've never dealt with this company, but I've heard good things and bad things. And they're like, no, man, this company's awful. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, but you guys are great. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I'm like, we're not perfect. I'm sure we've screwed up, but we try. And we try to fix it for people when we do. And I think I've seen that a lot. And don't be wrong, I understand why some businesses get jaded on fixing issues, is they too have been screwed over. There's one business I know that they do aftermarket like polishing and engraving and stuff on slides and frames, and they do stippling work. And they will no longer do business with any address in Chicago and a few other places because they've gotten scammed and screwed over so many times. So there's bad actors on both sides, buyers and sellers, and it's unfortunate, and it jades a lot of businesses. It jades a lot of buyers on what they're doing and what they're working with. Is this guy ghosting me? The fuck? Been here for like 40 minutes. That's okay, I'm with you guys. You guys are a cool crowd. Keep better track of my tools. Yeah, I got a bunch of tools in random spots. The shop is pretty well organized. It doesn't always look it, but there is an organized chaos to it. Because every part is supposed to go to certain places. Slides are supposed to go to certain places. I had to pop by earlier just to take a look at some slides that are going to go off to get deburred. And sure enough, they're right where they belong, at the deburr station. Hey, G23. What's going on, man? Been running this for like an hour. Hey, 7 people, 7 likes. Love it. And by all means, feel free to ask questions. I'm just sitting here chilling at the moment. Think this guy got held up or he's just ghosted me. I don't know. I mean, I texted him where I was parking. I don't even know if you guys can see that little scratch. So this is something I talked about a while back, is that why we don't sell raw slides to people individually, but we do sell them to businesses. One of the factors is this stupid little scratch. The slides coming right off the machine are sharp. And there's going to be somebody, somewhere, someday, who decides to pull a McDonald's. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, McDonald's was actually in the wrong on that one, if I remember right. But where they go and nick themselves and go, oh, I'm going to sue this company. That's not the reason, but it is a factor. And we've done it multiple times too. Sliced our thumbs, sliced our index fingers. Because you'll take one right fresh off the line and go to rack it, and yep, you'll nick yourself. Need a bigger bench? Yeah. That might work, yeah, a little tackle box organizational system. You can find some cool office supplies on like Amazon that are stupid cheap, or even at the local dollar store that helps you organize tools. Some of them are a little rickety, but if you're just looking to organize basic tools, yeah, some of them work out real great and they're stupid cheap. Hey, Safe the Strap, what's going on, brother? Was meeting somebody, but I don't know what the fuck's happening. We were talking about the Glock Gen 6, the V Series, SHOT Show coming up next month. Our Cyber Week sale ended, and then our next sale is probably New Year's. But that's okay. Guy doesn't show up, whatever. I got a good live in. Chatting everybody up. Yeah, that might work out nice. Sun's moving, so I'm moving. Oh, there we go. Not bad. You might be able to go find yourself like an old Craftsman one that just needs to be cleaned up a bit. Some of those are worth some money though, too. Yeah, get a label maker on them. There you go. Pew Pew Junkies, what's going on, man? Welcome to the live. This is about the tail end of it, but I'm not done yet. We'll keep it going. So feel free to ask whatever questions. We were talking about the Glock Gen 6. We were talking about the V-Series for a bit. SHOT Show next month. The sales that just ended and the new one we got coming up. The Stiffler 43 and 26. Oh, yeah. I mean, this area is kind of iffy for streams. Oh. Just got a whole stretch of desert behind me. It's a little iffy. Brookside, what's going on, man? Oh, not too much. Chilling. Getting ready to do some work, I guess. And just chatting stuff up. Seeing how things are going. Uh-oh. That might explain why it heated up. I've got device overheating warning going on. Okay, yeah, this is all going down south pretty bad, guys. So I'm going to end it right here. My device is just overheating like crazy. So thank you guys for popping in, and thanks for staying 2A every day.